y'all, and welcome to the channel of Knit and Stitches. My name is Nona and I am the YouTube blogger for Knits and Stitches. So today what we're going to do is a tutorial video on how to single crochet. I am new to crocheting and knitting. I've been doing it about 9 to 10 months, and I'd like to share some of the things that I have learned with you all. So let's get started. So in today's tutorial, what we're going to use is we're going to have a ball of yarn. This is yarn made by Premier. It is fairly soft, and it is a size 4 yarn. Another thing I'm going to be using is a pair of scissors, a needle, and also a crochet hook. This is crochet hook size I of 5.5 millimeter. So for those of you that are new to crocheting, I'm going to kind of go a little slower, kind of step by step, to kind of show you how to begin a single crochet. So the first thing that we need to do is make a slip knot. And how I do that is I take my 2 fingers, I take my yarn and I wrap it around twice. I take my hook, go in between the yarn, as you can see in between here, between the yarn, I grab the back part of the yarn, flip it through, and pull. That way you don't want it too tight, you want it to be able to kind of glide in the yarn. Now wrapping your yarn, there's several different ways that we all use to wrap yarn. Some wrap it around and then they wrap it around their finger. Kind of show you again. Kind of wrap it and then wrap it around their fingers. Another way that I've seen is they roll it in their fingers. But whatever way feels comfortable for you to be able to hold your yarn, what I do is I wrap it around all 4 fingers, wrap it a couple of times around the first one. So let's do this again. So I wrap it just like that. So what I do is I grab it and I wrap the yarn a couple of times around my fingers. I don't want it too tight, but I don't want it too loose to be able to undo my stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 20. And the reason for that is with single crochet, whatever size you want to make, you want to be able to measure that out. But as of today, we're only going to do 20. So let's chain 20. So you're going to take your hook, you're going to wrap it around the yarn, you pull it through. There's 1. Wrap it around, 2. So as you can see, you have, by holding the yarn the way that I do here, I have a little bit of adjustment as to how loose or how tight I would like to have my stitches. So let's continue on. So we need 20. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Go a little bit slower here. So under the yarn, wrap and pull through. Under the yarn, wrap and pull through. So as you count your stitches, you don't want to count the first slip stitch. You always want to count the very next. So when you're actually looking at the line of your stitches, as you can see here, there's each little loop here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you also do not count the one that your hook is in. So we have 7. So let's continue on to make the 20. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now when I do the single stitch, I always add one extra stitch for the simple fact when we go on to the next row. So I'm going to add that one extra stitch in, so now we have the 21 stitches. Now with single crochet, as you see, I have the hook in the last hole here. So what I want to do is I want to go into the very next loop from where your hook is. So not this one, but the very next one. So we're going to count 2. So there's 1, 2. Hopefully you can see that. So there's 1, 1, 2. So we're going to go into that second stitch, and as you see that we have 2 loops here, 1, 2. We're going to grab that yarn, pull it through both of those loops, and then pull your yarn tight. So let's show that again. Okay, so we're going to go into the second loop. There's 1, 2. Wrap your yarn and pull it through both of the loops. And we're going to continue this all the way down to the last chain at the end of the row. So go ahead and go into the next stitch. Wrap your yarn and pull it through. Go into the next stitch, wrap your yarn, and pull it through. Go into the very next stitch, wrap your yarn, and pull it through. Now I'm kind of doing this a little bit looser than I normally do, just so that you guys can kind of see where these next stitches are here. Usually I go a little bit tighter with my stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and keep continuing on to the end of the line, and then I will meet you back in just a second at the last stitch. So as you can see, I've done my first row except for the last stitch here, and when you turn it, you see all of my stitches up here. And this is also another way to be able to count your stitches. So as I stated, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then so on. So right here, each one of these loops is considered a stitch. So now we're on our last stitch. So this was your slip knot here, and this is your last stitch. So you're going to do the same. You're going to go into the stitch, wrap your yarn, and then pull it through both of the loops. So there is our first row. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to turn your yarn. We're on the second row. So I always stitch 1 on each row. You're going to stitch 1 by wrapping your yarn and pulling it through. Then you're going to continue on. Now as you go in, you see that there's the loops here. So you can either have your choice of going under the first loop here, going under the first loop, you can do that way, or there's considered the back loop. My hands are just not working with me today. Okay, so you have your front loop or back loop, so you can actually even go into the back loop if you wanted to do it that way. But today we're going to actually go through both loops. So I'm going to go in here, go through both loops, wrap my yarn, pull it through, and again you've got the 2 loops here on your needle. You're going to wrap it again, pull it through. There's your first single on your second row. Then you're going to go into both stitches again, wrap your yarn, pull it through, wrap it again, and pull through. You're going to keep going along your stitches here, put it through both of the loops here, wrap your yarn, pull it through, wrap it one more time and pull it through both loops. So you're going to continue it this way all the way down to the end of the row, just going through each loop, wrapping your yarn and pulling it through. Again, we'll do it one more time here. Put through both loops, wrap your yarn, pull it through. Wrap your yarn, pull through both loops. And there we have 2 rows. So go ahead and continue on down to the end of the line, and I will meet you back here for one more row. Okay, so I have just completed my second row of single crochet. As you guys can see, there is the top there, each one of my stitches. And then I did leave the last stitch to kind of go over you guys and show you the last stitch again. So, oh sorry, my yarn kind of tangled up there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the last stitch. So take your needle, go in under both of those loops, wrap your yarn, pull it through. You have your 2 loops again, wrap it again, and pull it through. And now we have 2 chains of single crochet. So again, you're going to turn your project, you're going to wrap your yarn and you're going to crochet 1, and then you're going to start just as we did the last row. I'm going to go under both of those stitches. Hopefully you guys can see this well here. I got both those stitches, wrap my yarn, pull it back through. I have both my loops, wrap again and pull it through. Go into the next one under both. There's 1, 2. Go through both of those loops. As you can see in this next one, you got 2 there. So I have my hook into both of them. Wrap your yarn, pull it through, wrap again, and pull through. So you actually just learned the single crochet, and as I stated, you can actually make it longer. This is for an actual block, like a block afghan, so you can do the smaller little squares and do an afghan with the squares, or you can measure in the distance as to what length and size you want as far as like a blanket and single crochet. Again guys, I hope you liked the video. We will be going into part 2 of the video, and that will be learning a double crochet. So come on back and we'd be glad to show you that. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.